In this video, I'm going to show you how to manage a complaint. So there are three ways a complaint can be entered in for a police department. The first is an internal complaint, where a sergeant wants to write up an officer for insubordination. An external complaint would be if I came to your police department to file a complaint, or a public portal complaint is if they used our public portal to file a complaint against an officer, and that would be then submitted through to this screen. This here is the complaint identifier that the resident will get or the civilian will get. So if they ever call, they know it's 21-24, and can now link the complaint up to the complaint ID. You decide if this is a formal or informal complaint, and if it is a formal complaint, if you punch an IA number, this is where you're going to put that IA number in under incident number. You're going to be able to see since this was entered in from the public portal, it'll have all the information of the civilian who filed it in, the incident date, the time, and the incident type. For example, this is a demeanor complaint. The incident location, city, state, and zip code, and they wrote the name Page from the public portal. Now, from there, we have to be able to convert that over to somebody within our police department. So if I type in Page, now we know this is Michelle Page. So it converts it from a text box field to an actual human being within the police department. If there were any witnesses, that would list there, and this is their narrative. One thing about this narrative is this cannot be edited, changed, deleted, anything by anybody within the police department or even us. That's to protect the police, so we don't get accused of changing the narrative of the complaint. Once the complaint gets entered in, it is up to a supervisor to select who's going to conduct the investigation. So, for example, if this gets sent to the deputy chief and it's a traffic stop complaint, the deputy chief is obviously going to go ahead in here and send it to maybe the sergeant who is responsible for that officer to conduct that investigation. One thing to keep in mind is no supervisor can view any pending investigation unless they get assigned that investigation from the upper management. The reviewing supervisor would be a lieutenant or a commander or head of IA who's going to review the complaint after it's been conducted and sign off saying that they agree with the investigation. Everything that has to do within the complaint goes into the file name section here. So photographs, affidavits, your running narrative, anything that you want can go into here. One thing that cannot go into here is video. Keep in mind what you're paying for body-worn camera video. We're not trying to double you up on payments for that, so you're going to have to flag that, and maybe you can upload the link instead into the document manager. After the investigating supervisor signs off, it goes to the reviewing supervisor to sign off. From there, it goes to usually in most departments, the chief of police, who comes and reviews it. He says if it's exonerated, sustained, not sustained, or unfounded. He puts in the discipline type. This discipline type field is all customized by you. This is just some examples I have. And then after he puts that in, if he's done, he will save it and disposition it out. From there, it goes from a pending complaint to a completed complaint. That is the full portion of how to investigate a complaint using our software.